Hello, friends. Here, Unfiltered. We are a mere few hours away from the start of NBA free agency. This year I didn't actually do a preview. I'm actually driving. Well, first of all, I'm actually in my car driving around. Picked up some curry chicken from my local Jamaican store that I love. The owner's a great dude. I got me a large curry chicken, some beef patties on the side. I just wanted to check in real quick. I haven't done any of these little unfiltered pods in quite a while, in about a week, over a week. Although, if you do subscribe to the Ernest Drinking Podcast, after my 13-day hiatus on that side, I've actually picked up the pace on that end of things. But I want to talk about NBA free agency real quick, and I want to go into a deep dive because, actually, to be honest, this is the first time probably since I've been podcasting where I haven't actually done a preview of free agency. I think this year I feel different about things. I think with the way things are going with the podcast these days, how I've changed things up a little bit, make things more variety based. I really didn't want to get into the rabbit hole of predicting where people go so much. I'm more interested in the end product. I know people want to have the voices out there, make predictions and hot takes, and that's cool. And I'm all for that. But I think this year I've kind of taken a different approach now to how I cover these things. Especially sports and whatnot. I kind of want to just react to what happens and then go from there. At least this year. I mean, maybe next year I'll come back and do a preview of some sorts, but. I mean, I guess this episode here, I guess, will be somewhat of a preview to some degree. Although, I think I'll make some predictions real quick on some of the key players that I believe are going to go, or where they're going to go. For example, like I said, it's going to be a fascinating next week or so in the NBA in terms of where players go, because there's so much obvious but unobvious things and directions to go in. You have a guy like Kawhi Leonard who's just now coming off his second NBA Finals championship MVP performance, and he's a free agent now. Really, it's really him that's going to tilt the next couple of years. Like, where he goes may tilt the fortunes of many teams, most notably Toronto, if they can repeat next year, if he stays in repeats next year. The Clippers, who can become an automatic finals contender with him on the team. You're now hearing the Lakers are back in the fold of conversation where he may go. I think Kawhi Leonard will probably take a short-term deal with Toronto. I see something maybe a 1-on-1, maybe a 2-on-1. I think he will. I don't think he's long for Toronto long term, but I think short term. But Toronto have the roster back next year. Many of the players on the final year of their contract, so I think it's more appealing for Kawhi Leonard to do a 1-on-1. Try it again next year, win a title for Toronto again next year, and then leave after next year when Kyle Lowry's contract expires, Serge Ibaka's contract expires, a couple other players expires. So I think that's a lot more attractive. I think him winning the title made it more. I think it made it for him more appealing to come back at least for a year and try to defend that title for the city of Toronto. So I think Kawhi stays for at least another year. Maybe 2. I think it's 1. I think it's on a 1-on-1, and then cash out again next year and maybe go to the Clippers after that. Kevin Durant is the one I'm most confused about. Obviously, we've all heard that he's going to talk to 4 teams. The Warriors, of course. The Nets was the other. I think the Knicks were the third, and I think the Clippers were the fourth. My heart is telling me that he'll stay in Golden State, despite some of the troubles that we've heard about with him and Draymond Green. Because of the risk and the injury risk, I think a 5-year deal is more appealing. Now, Kevin Durant that he's an elite player, so he can find, even if he goes somewhere else on a 4-year deal, he can actually make the money he's losing on the 5th year elsewhere in terms of business or endorsements. But it's a lot of money on the table he's leaving there by not returning to Golden State. I mean, I'm assuming Golden State will will offer the max and go from there. So I'm going to lean Golden State here long term, but I know I'm likely to be wrong on this one. So we'll go from there. Klay Thompson, he'll get the max. He'll stay in Golden State. He's a Warriors lifer. Jimmy Butler, that's another confusing one. I mean, you've heard Houston now wants to get him, and I mean the Rockets. That's going to be an interesting case study of the Rockets. What are they going to do? They already had their issues with volatile personalities with Chris Paul and James Harden. Now you add Jimmy Butler to that equation. They need to sign and trade to get him, obviously. Philly wants to keep him, obviously. I've heard Miami now wants to get a hold of him. I've heard rumors that he's actually in South Beach right now to meet with the Heat, just to see what they can do, gauge some interest, whatever. I'm really that's the one I really can't put my pulse on, my finger on it. That and Kevin Durant, the two guys. I don't know what's going to happen in terms of whether or not they're going to stay or go. If I made a prediction, I'm going to say he stays in Philadelphia. I think Philadelphia will likely favor him over Tobias Harris. So I think at the last second, I think Philadelphia will offer a 5-year max, and he'll take that. What other players are on the list of Tobias Harris? Another one. I think he leaves. I don't think Philadelphia will convince him. I think he'll go to either Minnesota, team like Minnesota, or a team that's like, I mean, Denver has been a team that's been kind of on the heels of one to sign him, but they might be priced out. Tobias Harris will be on the move. I don't know where he goes, honestly, but I think Philly, they say they want to keep both guys, but I don't know if they can afford both guys. Unless they get I'm really looking at a 5-year deal to Tobias Harris. I don't see that working out. Who else is on the list of free agents? Derrick Rose is another one, I think. I think Derrick Rose goes elsewhere too, 1-year deal somewhere. I think that's it really for all the main guys. I don't think I'm missing anybody else, really. Kawhi, Clay, Durant, Butler, Tobias Harris, really. The main cogs. I know I'm missing somebody, but I don't remember who it is. I'm actually driving. I'm actually home now. So, like I said, I didn't want to do a big preview pod because it was just too much. I wasn't feeling it. It's fine, no big deal. So this is my little free agency preview pod. Here we go, just cheap and easy on the road. So we'll do another week podcast. It's like sometime next week once all these big names and some of the second tier guys get signed and commit to their teams. We'll do a probably big podcast probably with somebody. I'm probably bringing a guest, and I don't know who yet. Maybe Danny Thompson, maybe Jabari Davis, maybe Mark Francois. I don't know. We'll see. So. Anyway, that's it for me. Enjoy free agency. It's going to be a fun week, man. Here we go. Later, guys.